Hi, it's Mitch from Pickdawgz.com here with your free pick in the Ohio State versus Central Michigan college basketball matchup on Wednesday, November 29th, 2023. Of course, we give out tons of free picks at Pickdawgz.com, but if you're looking for the games that we like the best, those are the ones that we put under the Premium Picks tab. You can use the discount code PICK for 15% off. We also have Dime Club and Sharp Trading Plays. These are meant for people who make bigger bets, but you can only get this by texting the number you see on the screen. So if you're a big bettor, text that number. But let's get to this one. Ohio State taking on Central Mich, and Ohio State 5-1 on the season. Of course, Holtman has had his share of issues as the head coach of the Buckeyes, but this year, so far, so good. I got to say, man, they certainly looked a lot better than I expected them to against Alabama. It was one of those games where, against Bama, where everything that Ohio State did was probably to the best that they could do. Everything that Bama was doing, well, it just wasn't going their way. So I think they could have played that game, 10 times. You probably would have seen 10 different results than what you saw in that one. But I'll tell you, that time, it was just one of those times where you bet a game and you say, you know what? It just wasn't Bama's night. When we look at Central Michigan, these guys have been pretty terrible, but they did grab two recent wins, beating USF and Siena, covering the spread in both those games. In fact, against USF, they were 17-point dogs. They had previously been crushed by Florida State and Oklahoma, as well as losing to Louisiana Monroe, and then recently losing to Stetson by 10 in a game that they were only getting 4 points. Ohio State, like I said, the big win of the season was that game against Alabama. They came back the following game and blew Santa Clara out of the building by 30 points, following up on that Alabama win. Earlier in the season, it was that loss against Texas A&M, but other than that, a nice win against Merrimack, who's a lot better team than most people give them credit for. Central Michigan is not a good team, and we know that, and we've seen them play plenty this year. They just don't shoot the ball extremely well, and the Bucks have actually been D'ing it up, something we haven't seen under Holtman for quite some time. So, playing at least middle of the road defense, which is all you really have to do when you have the talent level that Ohio State does, well, it certainly goes a long way. We'll see how far it will take them over the long haul, but at least over the short run, it's definitely doing the trick for them. They are one of the best three-point shooting teams in the nation, shooting over 40%, puts them about 15th, and shooting just from the floor, still in the top 100 at 47.4%. The Buckeyes, okay from the free throw line, hitting about 75% of their shots from the charity stripe. You'd like to see that a little bit higher, especially, they haven't entered into Big Ten play, but as we mentioned, they've played against some pretty serious competition. I think this Buckeyes team is a lot better than what I gave them credit for early. I certainly always like to give credit where credit is due, and I've been pretty critical of Holtman. I think with the game that we saw against Merrimack, where they were able to cover the big spread and put them away late, I think they were playing a better team than what they're playing here in Central Mich. I like Ohio State to cover this big number, and that's going to be my free pick. Of course, while you're doing your picks, putting your bets in, use our free betting tools at sportschatplace.com. They'll tell you how often historically all of the bets on the board today have hit, then pair them up with today's odds, putting you on the most favorable bets today.